in San Francisco, right? Or like close?
Yeah, I'm in the proximity, not really SF, but Bay Area.
Yeah, like they just gave it up to the homeless and now everyone just like lives around it.
I know.
No, it's cool. I mean, look,
You're
I'm from
gonna
Philly. I'm not
see
one to talk, you know?
homeless and Waymos.
What the hell's a Waymo?
Oh, damn, really? You don't know what a Waymo is?
No,
Oh,
why you
okay.
make me feel stupid that I
Oh,
don't know? I don't know.
I'm like, are you living in a third world country?
What?
Okay,
I think
okay,
that's a
okay,
West Coast thing. I don't know what that
okay. Okay,
is.
so Waymos, they're self-driving cars.
Yeah, I don't think we have that over East yet. I've heard about those though.
They're actually testing it in Philadelphia.
Jesus Christ, that's the worst place to go. They have the worst road rage. I mean, maybe that's how like you like, jump in the deep end to learn how to swim, right? Like if that car could survive a Philly driver,
Uh,
that's funny.
Right? Well, I was like, you could be the first one. You could be riding in a Waymo doing stand-up.
You kind of almost have a little bit of a Philly accent to you, like the
Really?
Waymo, the Wawa. You kind
You
of
know, it's
got
so
that.
funny because I was gonna ask you some advice. Next week, I'm going to Philly for the first time, so I guess I blend
Oh
in.
yeah, here's some advice. Don't go. There you go. No, what do
Oh,
you need? What do you need to know?
too late. The flight's been booked. We'll discuss a little bit more about Philly, but thanks for being on my podcast, Connor. I want to say happy belated birthday
Oh, how'd you know?
research. And so I did some Connor stalking.
It's a very light read. I don't even have a Wikipedia yet.
I know how I found out. Now I'll
Yeah.
confess. You were listed number 37 on famous birthdays as an Instagram star.
Yeah, wait, you saw that's the my niece saw that and I don't even have a photo uploaded, so she's like, my friends don't believe me that we're related because there's no photo of you. No, Instagram star. Like, I mean, honestly, as much as I make my money from comedy, like if we're talking about actual amount of people, or like the way people have seen or heard or seen anything I've done, it's majority Instagram for sure.
Yeah, I
It's
know you
still
were doing an
TikTok, but
Instagram live like just minutes before
well,
this.
no, don't make me sound like that. I'm trying to do it again. I used to do it a little bit, and now I'm like trying to get back into it. The hardest part is to keep going when the views start going down. You're just like, all right, I want to end. The second it goes down one person, you're like, yeah, we gotta just get out of here.
Well, you also share a birthday with other comedians like Eddie Griffin, Gabriel
I
Iglesias.
sure, me and Eddie Griffin are very similar, a lot of ways.
Really? How
Yeah,
so?
I'm rebooting Undercover Brother. Yeah. We're doing a reverse Disney. We're gonna make him white. Me with an afro, I think I saw that movie in theaters.
I've seen that movie maybe like on Comedy Central one time.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's watched it not on TV or like in a cold hotel room, like
That's classic Comedy Central. I was gonna ask you like later at the end of this interview, but I might as well like segue. What's like your feel good comedy movie or show that you always kind of
oh
go
man.
back to watching?
Lately I've been trying to fall asleep to The Simpsons again. It's crazy how much that does not translate to people. It's like one of those things like if you don't really grow up with it, now I think it's hard to get into, really, just because it's the same reason I try to show my girlfriend Jaws. So I try to show her Jaws and she's like, I can't, I've seen all the movies that have ripped this off.
That's the OG.
It's the OG, but it's like I've heard people who try to watch Richard Pryor and they're like, this doesn't feel groundbreaking because like I've seen everyone who's had the influence. So she's like, I've seen 47 meters down, like all these like movies that are ripping off the Jaws. She's like, I can't enjoy because I know where everything's going. And it almost just feels like it's like you have a remaster of a video game from the 90s. And it's like, if you try to play the original, you're like, now it just feels, and you didn't grow up with it. Feels weird. Same way I feel like The Simpsons, like Family Guy and like all that, whatever modern like cartoons, I feel like going back to like prime Simpsons, right? It's just like I don't think a lot of people can get into it. It's like trying to become like a Disney adult when you weren't a Disney kid,
Mm.
It just feels like probably feels kind of weird.
Yeah, you like missed out.
Yeah.
So tell me this, because I haven't watched The Simpsons in a long time, but
Yeah.
I read something they killed off Marge.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, dude, I didn't keep in touch. There's been 4 times as many seasons I haven't watched The Simpsons
No.
now I have watched, From what I read in the article, it was like a flash forward into the future. But I've also heard like clips of that actress. I mean, she's always had a pretty like raspy shout out voice. That's the
Mhm.
charm. But like it's been especially, and it's just funny to like. It's one of those things that's like sad to watch. It's like your childhood dog before it gets put down. You tell like, oh, you do not. And the weirdest thing is that the characters, it's cartoon, they still look the same.
Yeah.
Their voices sound like 80s, so it's like really, it's kind of sad to watch.
Well, okay, this is going a little off topic, but and
I don't think there is a topic, so let's keep talking.
I know you mentioned in your past your stand-up Dora the Explorer, and I remember years ago they were trying to replace the original voice actress because she was aging. She's like, well, she just
Right.
isn't like a little girl anymore. So they wanted to like replace her with another younger child, but I think Nickelodeon was like being sued or something like that.
The age discrimination or some shit. That's why usually they hire women to play. I know for young guys, to get that
Hmm.
prepubescent. But I think like even like Arthur, they'd have to have multiple Arthurs, and like it's tough, especially like a cartoon, which is like supposed to be evergreen and like run on forever.
Yeah, the Rugrats, mostly the whole cast was female.
It's that one woman, she played Tommy in like a lot of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
I forget her name, Tara something. I don't know. Sorry, like pop culture, like I don't like sports, so like pop culture is like my sports, you know what I mean? Like this sounds super lame. Like actors are my athletes, directors, coaches. I mean, like I don't know shit about sports. I don't know shit about history, but I can tell you who like wrote the screenplay for, Scooby Doo, you know.
Yeah.
So
So no, I hate sports. That's why you won't even catch me. Well, no, that's not true. I have been to
yeah.
some sports in the Bay Area, but it's usually because a
Yeah.
friend has a ticket and I'm just like a tag along.
You can
I
like get into it, right? But I need emotional reason. And there's a lot of people who do, they have an emotional reason to get into it, whether they realize it's an emotional connection or not. So like I found throughout the years, again, I don't want to be one of those people like, what are you playing the sports ball? Like, because I know that's like, people like get annoyed by that type of person. But for me, it's like if I don't have an emotional in, so like, if like the Eagles are in the Super Bowl and I know how much it means to my family, like my sister, like my dad, like they're all like so invested. And I'm watching it rooting for my family. You know what
Hmm.
I mean? That's my emotional in. Or like when my brother-in-law was really into the Packers when Aaron Rodgers would play. And I would watch his games, like getting a little emotional, like, oh my God, I know this is going to make him so happy. It's like when I watch an action movie, like it doesn't matter how good the action is. If I don't care about the characters, I can't connect. So when I'm watching like a sports game that like maybe if I'm there, I can maybe get myself into it, but I can't. I just feel nothing. I feel nothing. But like, yeah, I need an emotional in. Otherwise, it's like,
Yeah, I
just
don't even watch the Super Bowl depending on who's performing halftime. Otherwise, like I really don't give a shit. I'll go to the gym, which is the best time to go because there's no one there.
oh, that's smart. They're all at the bar.
So, who would be on your comedy
Round
Mount
round
Rushmore?
much more. Let me think. What's tough because it's also about like what you grew up with, right? Like that's really like you're in. And I just now realize like the people who I grew up with is not like everyone else is not like in a special way, but it's not that like cool. So my parents were divorced, right? So I both had like my mom would show us, but then I'd go visit my dad and he'd be like, hey. So like my mom would show us Ellen, and I loved Ellen. I loved Ellen, and honestly, Dakota Johnson's a bitch, and she should not have done that. Okay, but anyway, that's another subject. I'm really pissed off about how that went down. Like Dakota Johnson is a nepo baby. Okay, she's not talented and she took down a self-made woman who was a trailblazer. Well, she was a little mean. Yeah, why are we surprised? Do you know Ellen's sense of humor? She's a bitch. That's what's so funny about it. Okay. Anyway,
I
so
love this Ellen defending.
oh my God, the way they people were just so gleefully taking her down, like it pissed me off. I grew up loving her, and it's just like she was mean. Have you met any comedian? Our job are to be professional assholes. Like, why? I think because she like danced a couple of times, everyone just. But if you listen to her sense of humor, like she's always cutting. That's like her style. And like, like one time I just remember like a random episode, she was like walking around the office of Taylor Swift. It's like, it's America's Sweetheart and Taylor Swift, like, not the meanest, but like, she's always was very dry and cutting. And the whole reason Dakota Johnson was like, actually, Ellen, I did invite you to my party. Because Ellen just made a joke like, oh, didn't get the invite, like being funny. And Dakota Johnson has no comedic bone in her body. Okay, she's mean. Mom showed me Are You There, God, I think was one of her specials. And I just don't think she gets the credit for how influential she was and how groundbreaking she was. Like,
Mhm.
she came through the Tonight Show circuit. And I don't know. I mean, you want to get into identity politics, you got that as well. But just, I thought she was great. I loved her specials growing up. I remember my mom renting them for us. And then on my dad's side, he wanted to be like, hey, look at Dennis Leary. And then you grow up and you realize, oh, Dennis Leary is just copying Bill Hicks, apparently. But, No Cure for Cancer. I love that album. And like, that was like, hearing someone who's just like, yeah, man, we're fucking saying crazy shit. Like, and again, like, I was told about Carlin when I got older. But as a child, he was my Carlin, like the guy who's like telling it like he's wearing a leather jacket. He's telling it like it is, you know? So I would say those two, and those are really like those are the ones I watched when I was like kid. We're talking like 10 under, you know, like way younger than that, like 5 to 10 or something. And then when I got older, middle school, that's when I started watching like Chappelle's first two specials, you know, which are still his best in my opinion. Those are like amazing. Killing Him Softly, for what it's worth. They're just so silly. I just love how silly. You know, there's no points being made, and when you think he's trying to make a point, it's just silly.
I have my own theories, but I do like that you said that she's a trailblazer, but I will have to plug Rosie O'Donnell was probably the first lesbian that had a
Rosie
talk show.
talk show, yeah. But was Ellen's sitcom first? Maybe so that might have been like the first like open lesbian to have like her own show.
Yeah.
Dude, Rosie O'Donnell. You know when you're a kid and you think everyone has the same experience as you, and then you grow up and you realize your family was the only one who every year for Christmas listens to the Rosie O'Donnell Christmas album? Like the very Rosie Christmas. We had that CD. Dude, she does a duet, speaking of Rugrats, with Angelica Pickles. All right. She does a duet with, I think, Elmo. Like I think it's God Bless Us Everyone with sung by Rosie O'Donnell and Elmo. It's like so funny. We try to play it for my stepdad. He hates it. But yeah, no, I liked Rosie too growing up, you know? And apparently everyone like hates her. I'm like, oh, okay.
I've never been a really an Ellen hater, but now they both have they moved out of America. Now they're living in the UK.
Yeah, I know. I mean, we got money, you know?
I know exactly, right? Everyone complained I'm gonna leave the country. It's like, yeah, because you have money. I was like,
Yeah.
we're broke. We have to stay here.
Yeah, move out of the country. I've never even left the country.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get to that point, you know? And the thing, I'm still in this country not from patriotism, just from poverty. Like
That's what
do,
you said
right?
on Instagram. Okay, so you talked about basically your comedy influences, and you were a shy kid. You were a video gamer.
How'd you get all? You just see this? Like you just read me for filth. You're like, I can tell you're an awkward weirdo. Anyway, next question.
So by 18, you were doing stand up. So when did you realize like you want to do this?
When I wasn't going to college and I needed to do something with my life, what it was, you know what I mean? Like I think at the time I tried to frame it like I didn't go to college so I could do stand up, but it was really more realistically like I did stand up because I wasn't going to college. And you know, you see the guys who like hang around who like don't go to college and are still smoking weed with you while you're in high school, and you're like, oh, that's gonna be me, you know. Weirdly enough, that guy was the one who told me about open mics. So I still was tangential to that. Like I never even heard of open mics before, you know. So I was like, oh wow. And I was so unaware of what open mics were. I thought they were like impressive, you know, which now you realize like it's like anyone can do it. But I'm
Mhm.
like, so I would brag to girls that I liked that I was doing open mics. You know, I thought it was cool because I didn't know what it was. Like I'm doing gonna open mic. Meanwhile, mind you, I've never done an open mic at this point. I was just telling girls I liked to try to seem cool. They're like, they're like, I'm going to Drexel University. I'm like, yeah, well, I'm doing open mics. Like I think that's like making me on their level. So then this one girl I was like hanging out with, and I was on my way to hang out with her, and she's like, hey, like we're about to hang out. And you always talk about doing open mics. There's a comedy club down the street from me, and they have an open mic tonight. Like, we should go. Mind you, I had never even thought about a joke. I've written no material. And I was like, oh, yeah, totally. So I just kind of like fell into it because I was trying to impress a girl, and she, you know, it's a very like sitcom premise episode. Like, oh, what? That's how I did it for the first time. And again, I had nothing going on in my life. So I just kept doing it.
So did you try to impress girls when you said you were on America's Got Talent?
Did I try to impress girls? I tried to impress everybody by saying it, you know, all 30 seconds of my set that was left in, you know. That was just one of those sets where like you could tell it's like a bad date where it's like these you just aren't compatible because they like reach out to me like, well, you want someone edgy, like someone like who's really gonna like go for it. And then my 3 minute set was cut down to 15 seconds because they wanted edgy. But my first joke, I said the word periods and everyone groaned just from the word periods. I'm like, well, you're definitely going to hate this joke about my dad being a Coke dealer if that's getting a groan. Because here's the thing, and I'm not faulting them. It's 2 p.m. If the lights are on, the sunlight is out. It's all families in the crowd. And it's not a sold out show. You know, I'm sure for the actual shows, they actually fill them out. But the actual audition shows, they're doing 2 shows a day, each like 4 hours each. And they're just like cycling people through trying to give out free tickets. They have us in a theater auditorium and literally only had like 80 people huddled around the judges. And I'm not blaming on that because some people did great, but I'm saying it was like this weird mismatch because I'm coming out. I'm feeling catfished. No, I'm coming out and I'm just looking at families and I'm coming in thinking I'm about to be like, go for it. And also, I'm nervous. I'm not trying to make it seem like they weren't ready for me. I wasn't ready for it. Was like we were both on different timing. So it was like all families in the crowd. Daylight is out. I literally followed a dog doing tricks, and it was crushing. It was a golden retriever jumping through a hoop while like a child like directed it. Everyone was like, "Oh my God!" Then I'm coming out and be like, "Yeah, my mom gets fucked by my stepdad." I don't say fuck, but I'm like
Yeah.
alluding to sexual shit. And they're just like, oh, what? And like now I would have like tripled down. Like now I know how to play that kind of room,
Hmm.
right? I would either like ease up and do a different type of tone, or I would be like, now we're doing this. But I wasn't seasoned enough to break that tension of like the mismatch. You know what I mean? I didn't have the skill set to lean into that. And so, like, literally, it was just like one of those things where I'm like, yeah, I'm not even mad. Like, you're right. And the funniest thing, the judges were like, I feel like you should have read the room with your material better. And I'm like, you guys picked out my jokes. You know what I mean? Like they saw my jokes online, they gave me a script and approved it, and they said, "Hey, this is the script." And then I realized another comedian switched up their act, and they were mad. Like I could have done whatever in that moment. In my head, I'm like, they said these are the jokes. If it's whatever works, they don't really care. I don't need to stick to the script. It's like if that joke didn't work, now it's only 3 minutes. Like I have enough jokes to like switch in the moment. I was like not even in the room. I was so nervous. You know that feeling, right? Where you're just like, behind your eyes, you're watching yourself,
Out of body experience. Like, that's not me.
exactly. And oh my God, man, that's the most nervous I've ever been for a set.
Yeah. Well, I
But
think your material would work for Last Comic Standing if that show was still around. Let's talk about, you're from West Philly.
yeah,
Kevin Hart, another comedian out of
West
Philadelphia.
Philly. The
Yeah.
place I did my first mic was the club he got started in, the Laugh House on
What?
South Street. That was his like main club he got started. At least they claim it. I don't know. Run by this guy, Mr. Rod, and he like I talked to him recently, and he Kevin started there before he moved to New York. I only performed there one time, my first mic, but yeah. So Kevin Hart's from there. Your favorite guy, Bill Cosby's from there. Like other comedians, like
That's my mom's favorite.
really? Okay, all right. An ex of hers. I mean, there's some other like Todd Glass is from there. I think Jay Okerson. I know he goes there a lot.
So should I check out the Laugh House when I go to Philly next week? Even though you told me not
Yes.
to go.
Helium's the A club in Philly. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
You gotta tell me best Philly cheesesteaks. Yeah.
Brown mushmore, shake steak. My favorite is a little outside. Are you gonna have a car? Are
Oh,
you
we'll
gonna be
probably get a lift. Not because
lift?
there's
Yeah.
no Waymos yet.
Yeah, Waymos, dude. You are slipping into a Philly accent. It's freaking me out. Like you sound like you're from Delco. Which, by the way, I don't know if this is just my insulated thing, but the Delco hype needs to calm down. Do you know what Delco is?
No.
Okay, that must be a Philly thing. It's Delaware County. It's where my dad grew up, but it's like it's fine. But everyone like when a group has too much pride and you're like,
Yeah,
have a
that's the
reason.
Bay Area.
That's the Bay Area. That's Italian Americans. You know what I mean? Like it's like guys, calm down a little
Mhm.
bit. Yeah,
And they're so pro sports. You'll see someone probably at your San Francisco show either wearing a 49ers jersey or a Giants jersey.
I'll be glad if I see it because I have a pretty gay audience in San Francisco, so I don't think I'll be seeing a lot of jerseys. Maybe like,
Really?
yeah, no, definitely. I'm cute.
They want to buy you some fruity drinks. What's your favorite fruity drink?
Fruity drink. I don't really drink that much anymore, but like,
Oh, that's good. They're making me have a 2 drink minimum.
oh, you're coming?
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, I know. Look, you got to realize comedy clubs are glorified bars. Okay. That's where they make all their money. And you'd think because of that, they give you more of the tickets. I stopped doing brown liquor because that's just like a darkness there. Unless it's something really cute on the menu. Like if I'm going out with my girlfriend, like I'll get like a cocktail or something. But my go-to if we're just getting like a custom made comic thing, I do, we do go with the classic base of vodka soda, but with cranberry juice. Okay, not a vodka cran, not a vodka soda, vodka soda with cranberry juice, mix it all together. That's like a seltzer right there, right? And then you just squeeze a lime or two in there and mix that all up. get rid of the straw, sorry turtle, and then you just drink it like that. It's you won't be able to taste anything unless the bartender's, likes you, and then you're
Trying
like,
to like Bill Cosby you.
I hope not. I just meant that they make it really strong. I've been drugged before. No, no more.
Oh my God. Okay, so let's talk about your San Francisco show, Cobb's Comedy Club, happening this Sunday, the 27th. I think it starts at 7. Is Tata gonna be there?
I wish I'm not at the level where like I can like fly out my openers. If it's local, like Tata's more New York, Philly based. I think the furthest I've had her open for me is like DC or Boston. But I'm not at the point where like I can fly out people. Once I do, I'll be taking, her and some of my favorite comics with me.
Nice. Okay, so our time is winding down because,
Okay.
freaking
Oh
Zoom.
wow, yeah, there's a timer in the top right.
Yep, I added that feature so I could keep track. Right behind me, I can't even point, right here where it says Music Kills the Soul. I usually interview musicians, but
Oh
I want
wow.
to ask you, how has comedy healed you?
I feel like music has probably healed me more. Comedy has definitely healed me because I've always had trouble communicating my thoughts, and it's something that really forces you. And I don't know if I would have had this journey the same way in terms of like, how do I feel about that? And even if you're doing that to then make a dumb joke or subvert how you really feel, it definitely does make you ponder your perspectives on things. And sure, maybe it like silos your opinion because you have confirmation bias, but at the same point, I feel like it really has made me feel more aware of myself, which is like you can definitely get too aware where you become self-conscious, but it at least has made me aware of like where I've come from, why I act the way I do, because I feel like, when you're growing up, you're all impulses and whatever happened to you is now like you're just a victim of that and then just blah blah blah. I feel like once you start kind of connecting the dots on a conspiracy theory board, this is actually why I act the way I do. And you're not just a freak, you're a freak with reason in terms of like, why do I act so weird? I like watched a video of myself when I was 18 and I just started. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, why am I so weird? Like, why do I seem like a freak? And you're like, oh, because you were a sheltered kid, didn't leave the house in a bad neighborhood, and like you didn't have any confidence. You grew up around women, so you sound very feminine. You start just realizing it. And I don't think I really would have had that type of reflection unless I was like trying to mind my life for jokes, and then you start realizing it. So, and then, also getting approval from people
Mhm.
helps heal you and gives you a new addiction too. But, it helps.
So we have again 3.5 minutes. What do you want
What
to get
happens
out
at
of?
the end of the
I
time?
know it went by so fast. We kept talking about Ellen.
Yeah, you went on an Ellen defense. Yeah.
Gosh damn it! You made me forget my damn question. Okay, so what's your walkout music?
Right now, it's Leave Him Alone by Quality Control because it's just kind of
Okay.
like fun. It's like a nice, like upbeat woman singing. I should probably get a new one. That's just been mine for a while. Is I never think about it until they ask me right before I go out, so I've just kept using that.
So, what's your goal? You mentioned on your Instagram live that you're trying to pitch a show to the studio because I know most comedians like they want to get a show, they want to star in movies. What's your
Yes.
goal out of
So I
this?
honestly, I just see it all feeding in to the same thing. If I can get a show, and again, this concept, I don't even want to say it because I'm like, I'm so afraid that someone's gonna take this. Not that it's like, oh my God, it's a secret formula to comedy, but like, it's just something I would love to do so badly. And I think it will help me get the audience I want more. Like, I like my audience now, but I also feel like there's like people who sometimes my jokes would work better for, and like they don't come to my show because they don't really, nothing really screams my upbringing by how I look. And I like that. I like to subvert and I like to play off of that. But I feel like if there's more people who could relate to my comedy who will come out. So if like this show gets off the ground, I think it would really help me find my audience in stand up besides the people who've already found me, which love them. Obviously, like, come on. Like, in fact, I was pretty much an open micer for 10 years. The fact that I'm able to go anywhere, I celebrate that. I just want more of a reflection of like my ideal thing. I know people are gonna call me some type of like, PC liberal, whatever, but like my ideal crowd, I want my crowd to look like the United Nations. I want a little bit of everybody. I like that. That's how I grew up. I grew up in Philly. I grew up surrounded by all different types of people. So I like that. I'm hoping that once this show gets off the ground, not only will it be rewarding to have the show itself, it'll feed into the stand up, which will feed back into the show. If I have those two things, I'll be happy for the rest of my life. I'll be
All right.
set.
Well, you're going to see this 5 to Latina this Sunday, and I think it's going to kick us out now. But Connor, thank you so much for your time.
Oh, wow, you're not even controlling this?
Oh,
It's like Squid Game. Who is controlling this right now?
I actually just started watching that game.
Yeah, well, this is it.